Welcome to Boys in the Berg, the podcast all about Pittsburgh, as it says right there. And these boys right here, we had a huge weekend in Pittsburgh with the NFL draft. And that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about today. And the people talking about it is me, Chris Speranza.
And me, JJ Speranza.
And we got other stuff to briefly touch on, but the NFL draft in Pittsburgh, it it looked incredible. Like that sea of people, it was quite a sight to see. Like, and I know you watched the draft all the way there in Wilmington, North Carolina.
I did. And I also saw when they broke the record for the most attendees at a draft at, what was it, 803,000 or something like that?
Yeah, it was pretty insane. And we'll get into that in just a second, because other insane things that you can be doing right now is following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, YouTube, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. We're also on Instagram Reels, also on I already said YouTube Shorts, TikTok. I said it all already. And you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So leave us a 5-star review, follow us, and we can do all that fun stuff. You know what I mean? We'll talk more about the draft, and maybe we'll have a podium or whatever next time. I don't know.
We can all boo as we come on the board, just like what's his face, the
Roger Goodell.
CEO, Roger Goodell. Thank you.
His feelings cannot be hurt anymore. He's just like, whatever. They're booing me.
I like the Gridiron Heights, where like they show his face on the TV and everyone boos him, and he goes, "It's okay, nothing hurts me anymore."
And real quickly, before we talk about the draft, you got your number 8 on your hat right there. We briefly touched on the Willie Stargell 5K and that you were going to, have some exciting stuff to talk about. So you have the floor.
Thank you. The 5K this past weekend was incredible. We got to meet with Jennifer Cranford, who is in charge of pretty much like the 5K and the foundation. She was amazing. We got to meet a couple of the gentlemen in charge of the foundation as well. We met Willie Stargell's widow. Absolutely incredible woman. Told us that the foundation was started about a year after Willie Stargell had passed away, and just incredible human being. Like, we had such a great time meeting everybody. They were so thankful. They're going to reach out to me about the Celebrity Open, which is the golf tournament they have down here in the next couple of weeks here. So hopefully we'll have some more stuff there. But 5K went great. We walked it, just had a great time with it, had a big brunch afterwards, and that was amazing. The brunch was so good. I don't know if you've ever eaten like a big brunch after doing a 5K, but man, I suggest it to everybody. It's so much fun. Yeah, and this is one of the hats that we got. There's also a white hat with a number 8 on it. Next year is the 8th year that they're doing the 5K. So it's going to be a big celebration because of the number 8. For those who don't know, the guy who has hit the dog Peter on College Game Day?
Kirk.
Kirk Heischel or something?
Sure, we'll say that.
Kirk something. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long day today.
I'll find it.
Peter got number 8 on his jersey, and it says ball boy. So I just thought that was a cool little connection there this past weekend for the draft. But as far as the foundation goes, what an amazing foundation that raises awareness and money for kidney disease. They work with DaVita Dialysis. They work with Novant. They work with a bunch of different kidney places that focus on dialysis and kidney disease. So if you out there know anyone who is going through that or want more information, we'll put the link on this post here for this episode, but check out the Willie Stargell Foundation. Support Pittsburgh, support Willie, and support kidney disease.
And for people who don't know, the most unique thing about this is that race was in North Carolina and not in Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh all around, baby.
Yeah, it's true. It was in Mayfair, which is about 10, 15 minutes down the street from where Katie and I live in Wilmington. Willie Stargell married somebody from Wilmington whose twin sister is still a huge part of the Wilmington scene down here with the local news station. And she was there. She ran the 5K. So it was pretty star-studded with all the Willie Stargell family. I guess like they had cousins coming in from out of town. There were people from all over the country that came in for the race. Uh, I just can't say enough about how great it was. It was a really fun time. Do you have any questions about the race or anything, Chris?
Yeah, was your time faster at the Willie Stargell 5K, or was it faster during the draft day 5K when you rolled your ankle?
Let's talk about that draft day 5K.
So originally, I have a New Year's resolution to run 3 5Ks this year in the year 2026. A very a longevity you know what I mean? The first New Year's resolution I've ever had, that's going to be pretty long. And so I we did the first 5K of 2026. It was called the Pittsburgh Draft Day 5K, and they had it in the city where I believe you started at Point State Park and you kind of ran around, crossed the bridge, and then you ended up at PNC Park or Acrisure Stadium. But we decided to do it virtually because we are in two different areas of, the country. And I had to work that day, so I ran, then I went to work, and then I went home and took a nap. And I did my 5K in 33 minutes and 34 seconds, baby.
That's amazing. I unfortunately, as Chris had said, I rolled my ankle on Tuesday, 2 days after the Willie Star or 3 days after the Willie Stargell 5K. So I had been off of my feet, icing my foot down the entire week. So yesterday, I did my 5K in 54 minutes because I limped through the last mile. So it didn't go great. I have another one coming up this upcoming weekend for the Strawberry Festival down here in Wallace, North Carolina. Hopefully, I do a little bit better there.
Now, what was your time for the 5K at the Willie Stargell?
We walked that one, so I think it was 51 or 52 minutes. I think my best time is 32 minutes for a 5K. So I'm hoping to beat that May 9th, I think. I'm doing what's called the Surf to Sound. So it's one of the races that start on the beach, go over one of the bridges to inland North Carolina, and then you turn around and come back. So I'm hoping to beat my record there.
I tell you what, I will say this real quick before we continue on. I would have never got into 5Ks if it wasn't for you because you made me do the turkey trot. And now I'm kind of not addicted to running like every day, but I'm definitely addicted to 5Ks of just, you know, testing your body. Like when you get to like, you see 2.95 miles on your phone, you just start picking it up and just like, I could beat my last time. And it's a lot of fun. And if for people who are scared to do it, because I was scared to do it for 30 years, uh, just try it. Just try it one time at least.
Yeah, and I really am happy that you were enjoying it. The turkey trot was amazing, so I'm happy that was something that inspired you to get out there. In case you didn't know, the Pittsburgh Marathon is coming up pretty soon here. Don't focus on this year, but maybe in the upcoming years, just know that there is a big marathon that takes place in Pittsburgh, all over downtown. So maybe put that on your big board for something in the future.
Yeah, that's gonna be in my future at like uh I don't know, years from now down the road. Probably never. I'll probably be dead. Uh so I'll probably never do it. So I say that we finally start talking about this NFL draft weekend in Pittsburgh. What do you say?
I'm okay with that. I'm really happy that we've had a couple great weekends. Holy crap, that draft was incredible for so many reasons. Did you enjoy watching it?
So I really did enjoy watching it. It was a very exciting feeling that Pittsburgh held something that's so huge. First of all, Pittsburgh able to hold something that huge. Uh, I will let's just kind of start from the beginning. Night one, Thursday night. I'm not gonna lie, the streets of like everywhere around Pittsburgh was not that busy, except for the places where transportation was free that weekend. The the park and goes, like the place where I saw a video. Monroeville Mall was one of them, and it was packed to the gills, and everyone was taking that. If anything, it sounded like the T in downtown Pittsburgh didn't really do so well, but that's a lot of massive people. But,
Yeah.
they said the bus wasn't that bad. Traffic wasn't that bad getting into Pittsburgh because everyone was using public transportation. And some hotels weren't even that packed. Some parking garages weren't even packed, so they ended up like reducing the rates. And I read something online that some businesses boomed, but some businesses busted also. It was the biggest yet most confusing thing to ever happen in Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, and it's fair to say that a lot of people who were staying in Pittsburgh for the draft from out of town, they were eating at restaurants located on the bus routes and the T routes. So if you were outside of that, like for instance, the Strip District, there wasn't much foot traffic there because there was no reason to go to the Strip District. There was like, unless your hotel was down there, but really there's no hotels in that area. So most food places, but like Permane Brothers boomed. They made so much money in the Market District. I don't even, it's incredible how much money they made. But like, South Side, like Jack's Bar or something like that, probably not so much.
And I will also mention the Arts Landing area that was just made in the Cultural District had a Pitt Panthers display there. So just wanted to let you guys know why I am wearing a Pitt Panthers jersey today, because you also have notes about people that got drafted from Pitt, I believe. And also, you know, just because, there was so much Pittsburgh culture ingrained into the draft. And I'll have to tell you a story real quick. Do you mind if I tell you this?
You know what? Go right ahead. I'm also wearing my Lewis the Nerd shirt because I'm so proud of you for running your 5K. So I just want to throw that out there. Like, super proud of you as a big brother. Tell your story. I'm interested.
Okay. I hate to break people's hearts. I did not go down to Pittsburgh for the NFL draft. Everybody and their mother did go down, but I did not. And I was watching the NFL draft on Thursday, and I was really getting, fear of missing out. And I was like, I'm gonna go down Friday. I'm gonna go after work. I'm just gonna, hit up a bus, and I'm gonna go downtown, even if no one wants to go with me. Because believe me, I tried to reach out to people, and I was watching the NFL draft, and then it was the Steelers pick. They picked number 21, and all of a sudden they start playing Renegade. No, not Renegade first. They played the beginning, the Thunderstruck. Then they showed Myron Cope, and then all of a sudden, what was the guy's name? He was the guy from Styx. Hi, this is Tommy Shaw from Styx, and this is
Hmm.
the Steelers pick is in. And then they did the "Oh Mama, I'm in fear," and like the whole bump bump bump, bump. And then the music dropped, and everyone waved their terrible towels, and I went, well, shit, I guess there's no reason to go down if that's how that first pick's gonna go.
Wait, why'd you think that?
Because there was nothing that was gonna elevate that. Like, that was the pick. The rest of them was just gonna be like, I'm Jerome Bettis, and I'm with the Jerome Bettis Foundation of people on stage. Like, that was the rest of the picks. Just nothing beat like that whole Yinzer in your face moment of just like hitting it with like boom, boom. Uh, I don't know. Like it made me think like I should have just went during Thursday night, because like I didn't watch Friday, I didn't watch Saturday. I feel like Thursday was the whole show of what needed to happen. Um,
I didn't watch yesterday, but I did watch on Friday, and man, it's just a great, great time. I'm really sad that you didn't get to go down, but I'm really happy for the city of Pittsburgh that this happened for them.
Yeah. And also, did you see that how the players, we'll talk about the picks in a second, but there's just so much around the environment. Did you see how they had like a red carpet in Point State Park? And correct me if I'm wrong, they actually like ferry boated the players over the across the river to Acrisure Stadium.
They did that, and they had it was like a cutout of a Heinz bottle, like the emblem in the background of every interview. Like, it was just the most Pittsburgh thing ever. You had to cross the rivers to get to the event, but they had stuff going on at the point. I think there was stuff going on the south side too, because of like that's where the one boat goes over. It was incredible. There was just so much happening in that little area there.
And Pittsburgh proved that they can have a big amount of people there if they just force the people of Pittsburgh to take public transportation.
One, it was free. That's incredible. It should be like that most of the time. I mean, or cheaper at least. Two, did you see the post? It was all over social media, but it was like the Steelers or the city of Pittsburgh when the crowd is 800,000 people, and it shows the draft, and it says the city of Pittsburgh when a couple thousand people go to a concert at Stage AE, and it's
Yeah,
like just traffic like stacked up.
that's because no cars were there. There was, like, absolutely no cars that were down at in downtown Pittsburgh. Everybody was just, taking public transportation, and that was it, and it was a beautiful thing. I feel like that's how New York City's like. I feel like that's how a lot of places are. I know, I just said New York City. That's the only example I could think of, but I feel like,
I'm
that
so impressed you didn't say Disney.
Disney, they do have their own transportation, but that's different. That's a theme park. That's not a whole working community that needs to, like, work jobs every single day.
Totally fair. But yeah, what did you think of? I guess you have like the notes on everything that happened around the draft. So just kind of dive in on that. Like, what were some big, like big highlights for you?
Yes. So pretty much going through the notes I have real quick. Uh, One of the things that were big was all the draft parties that were happening, and the Pittsburgh Brewing Company, they had a whole draft party that was there that looked more packed than the draft itself. Um, the Arts Landing thing is something that I talked about. They had like a PA mascot race, and the Penn State Nittany Lion won the race, and
Ooh, sorry.
I guess I saw something that said Barry Iron City Beer, so I guess they're just getting out there with all that stuff. What else do I have? Punxsutawney Phil was there. We have so many Pittsburgh celebrities. Uh, Pittsburgh Dad was there. I think Pittsburgh Dad had like his own basement set up, like somewhere in downtown Pittsburgh. Eh, it was just crazy. Uh, Seth Rollins and a guy from the NFL Network, I guess, pretended to have beef with each other, and then the next day, like, hugged it out, which was a really weird thing to do, but whatever. Um, Pat McAfee show was there. Pat McAfee was glad to be home, and they went to Kennywood, and Boston Connor passed out on the steel curtain ride, and they showed the video footage, and it was hilarious. Just him, and then just passing out.
I did like how Bill Cowher was on the Pat McAfee show. I think he was there for 2 nights, or was it just 1 night?
I'm not sure.
Man,
Also,
but Pat McAfee was the one that introduced all the Colts players, so it was like, oh, so bittersweet.
it was bittersweet. The giant eagle shopping cart that went viral on social media, a giant shopping cart that people were driving. Dare I say, I saw a video of it. They went through the Fort Pitt tunnel and made the merge all the way over to get to the stadium.
Was it like an actual vehicle they were driving, or was it like a prank thing?
I really don't know. It could have been AI. I don't know if it was real or not.
My gosh.
But that was just like some of the big things that were happening. They had a news, the news was keeping track of everything the whole time. I told you this. When we go to Indianapolis for the Indy 500, the entire community is involved in this worldwide event. And it was the first time I had that same exact feeling in my own hometown. And it was a really nice feeling to have. It felt really cool. And well, one more thing. And then the news, they were keeping track of everything. It was 20 minutes before the draft started. They had people literally just driving the parkway just to tell you what it was like. And it was 20 minutes before the draft. They were like, "We're going through the Squirrel Hill Tunnel right now, inbound. Is there traffic?" They said, "No, there is no traffic at all."
That's weird. To have an event like that and have no traffic through the Fort Pitt or the Squirrel Hill tunnels, like you had to go to Pittsburgh a lot growing up for work. That's unheard of on a weeknight.
Yeah. The Swissvale Edgewood exit is when it starts to back up. And everyone that's from this side of Pittsburgh absolutely knows that if you got to work downtown.
There we go.
Yeah.
Was it you that told me that people were taking the bus from Monroeville Mall and Monroeville was really, really busy because of that?
Yeah, they had a bus flyer basically or a flyer route, something with flyer in it. Basically, they were going back and forth, and I had a friend. Shout out to our friend Emily. She went down to the draft, and I got to ask her a couple questions yesterday, and basically just she said they took like the Monongahela or something like that, wherever they were living at, and they took that down to get to the draft. And so she told me about the experience. Apparently the water bottle policy was really weird. I didn't look too much into that, but they had a really weird water bottle policy, which basically led to the conclusion of you should probably buy our water bottles when you get down here.
I think it's fair to say that Pittsburghers, this is just from my own experience, not personally, just like friends I've had, will put things in their water bottles that shouldn't be in there. So I'm sure they were just trying to make sure that people stayed sober ish, you know?
Yeah, that could be that, but it was pretty, from what I heard, pretty ridiculous rules with like, the food was expensive down there. I think everything might have been a way to, because it was a free event. There was just people trying to get ways to, you know, fill the pockets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, with an event like that, a friend of mine is from Michigan down here, and he was saying that for the draft up there, it was kind of like the same thing that was happening as far as like it was free, but there was a lot of stuff going on around the outside. He was upset because he was like, "Man, I really hope Pittsburgh doesn't beat Detroit's record because Detroit has a really proud very proud football town." And I just laughed. I was like, "There is no chance that Pittsburgh is not going to beat that record."
Detroit. Detroit's a big football town. The team that went 0-16, they're a football town.
From what he said, I'm not from Detroit, so I don't know. I'm from the best city in the world, so that's all I got to say.
Yeah, and all the love on social media, a lot of people saying like, "How have I never discovered this gem of Pittsburgh?" Lots of people saying it. And we knew this all along, and I'm just going to say it because no one else is going to say it. TKO, grow a set and bring SummerSlam to Pittsburgh for 2 nights, okay? We're ready for it.
Is SummerSlam 2 nights now?
SummerSlam is 2 nights now, and they have had a SummerSlam in Cleveland, and it's been successful. Bring the SummerSlam to Pittsburgh. We're ready. We showed we're ready.
That'd be cool. And they've showed they can make a stage outside of Heinz Field. So like, they can there's opportunities for growth all over Pittsburgh. I so agree with you. Maybe not WrestleMania, but SummerSlam, yes.
Yeah, WrestleMania, that's cutting close in April, so you never know. As we in Pittsburgh know, we don't know what the weather is gonna be like. It was maybe 50 degrees this morning, and now it's like 80. I don't know what to wear anymore.
If you see behind me here in Wilmington, it was sunny and beautiful for like 2 months, and today it rained. So it's 60 degrees now. So sorry, man. It was sunny for 2 months down here, and now it's raining. So different from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's the opposite down here. Uh, but also, do you know if, because there's a lot of musical artists down there, and Wiz Khalifa was down there too. And I swear I saw this on TikTok because I didn't know if it actually happened. Did they repurpose and use that same stage for the draft for like music artists?
I don't know. I know Stage AE was used a lot, but I don't know about. I would imagine that they would use that stage for some musical events, but I didn't look that far into it.
Okay, I'm just gonna say Wiz Khalifa used that stage to, perform Black and Yellow because I'm just gonna go with what I saw. And of course he had to be there, do Black and Yellow. Of course Brett Michaels had to be there to, talk about his love of the Steelers. So a lot of
And
celeb Michael Keaton.
yes, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. He actually announced a pick. So I love that all the Pittsburgh picks were like just these special moments. And then just like a Ravens fan now would just be like, Steelers still suck. It's like that kid's 6. Like, it's just like crazy stuff.
The Ravens were the ones that rage baited the most, and it was I actually enjoyed it. It was fun hearing the Pittsburgh fans get into it uh, with every pick. It was so great, man. The fans were amazing down there. Really, they were.
You know what? There should be some. I don't know if there's any videos online, but because the NFL draft was so packed, they ended up utilizing the stadium, Acrisure Stadium.
I
Low
did see
key,
that.
low key, they actually had people that were able to tour PNC Park for fun. So that's fun.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and so also so yeah, it was so packed down there that they had to put people in Acrisure Stadium. I'm surprised there was no Ravens fans that like went to that side of the field where Tyler Loop missed that field goal and was just like, ah. Like,
Well, they can't because it was blessed by a Catholic priest. So, like, you don't want to go to hell, do you?
"Ah." But also, what I was gonna say was, what was I gonna say? It was packed down there. That's all. That's what I'm gonna go with. I forget what I was gonna say.
No, it was really great to see Acrisure Stadium being used. Do you know where the draft, like the people that were in the draft, the actual players, where were they sitting? Was it in the hall of something?
Good question, because we were on the phone with each other and we were trying to figure that out. We're just like, "We've been in this stadium before. Where are you?" So
We've
and
been in
we
that
couldn't
stadium a lot, and we couldn't figure it out.
we couldn't figure it out, but they make it look really nice. But I'm sure, like, you're only seeing the trees, not the forest. So I'm sure if you zoomed out a little bit, it's probably just like all these little tunnels just everywhere. And it was really cool. Can you imagine the production that has to go into the draft? It's probably got to be more than anything, just because one, you don't know what player is going to be drafted. So whenever the person is drafted, there's people in the back that have a jersey out and they're already trying to get the names on there. And then there's people that got to get the podium out with the team, or maybe they're just switching the logos. I don't know. They got to get the logo switched for the team that they got drafted to, so they could put on their hat, look into the mirror for like 5 seconds, and then say, "Yeah, this hat looks good," and then walk back out onto the stage. Uh, because as we know, the goddamn Eagles traded up with the Cowboys to steal a wide receiver from us.
And that was the first round pick we were going to get. And what a shame. And the Pittsburgh Steelers had to scramble to pick an offensive lineman, which worked out. The offensive lineman we picked up was Max, and I'm going to
Oh,
mispronounce his name,
try and say it. I have it here too.
Ahineker.
That sounds really good. That sounds close. He is a man from Nigeria, and he cooks Nigerian and Mexican food, and didn't really play football until I think college. And when they went out to Nick Saban talking about it, they Steelers will need patience teaching him, because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be, different compared to college to the NFL. But you know, the Steelers are the Steelers. They always love developing people, so why not?
Do, do you think it's going to work out with that guy?
The first thing that I thought of as soon as he was drafted was Broderick Jones is cooked now. Like, he's done. Like,
That's what I thought too. But this guy reminds me of Broderick Jones. I'm interested to see how that happens.
yeah, or who knows? Maybe Broderick Jones gets good and they just move him to the other side. I don't know. But that other tackle did really good. That third stringer. You'll probably know his name.
I don't actually have his name, but I know who you're talking about. He did step in and he did a great job. And I've heard that like the Steelers offensive line has been really close this past year. Like personally, they've been really close with each other. So hopefully that carries over. They bring in these new guys and they introduce the mullet man to everybody well.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll probably say about the like outside events that happened, the hosts on night one eating permani sandwiches was hilarious.
Eating permani sandwiches is one way to say it. Another way is that one of them was eating it pretty healthily, and the other guys were like, "Oh yeah, okay," and they kind of put it down, like pushed it away. I was like, "Guys, you got to eat it."
They ordered all this food for you. You need to eat this.
How much publicity do you think Permani Brothers got that weekend?
A lot. I think enough for them to probably build another one of those weird permani restaurants that have a fireplace in the middle, somewhere else. So, they got a lot of publicity there.
If they put one in down here, I'm never coming home.
But the bread is different up here. Remember that.
Yeah, yeah, the bread is different. That's true. Anyway, man, but so much stuff going on outside of just the draft itself. I'm really happy everything worked out for the city. Anything else that happened that was noteworthy?
I guess, they had to cut down those trees so everybody can see what was happening. So I guess it worked out for the better.
Wait, what trees they cut down?
I was about to say, you don't know what I'm talking about, huh?
No, I
Uh,
don't. I didn't hear that.
so, along like the road, that like is in between, the North Shore, Heinz Field is here and PNC Park is here. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
there were like little trees that were lined up that looked really nice, but they were still growing. And for the draft, they're like, I don't want to move all these trees. Cut them down. And they just cut them all down.
Oh man, I bet people had a hissy fit about that.
Yes. So now that the draft is over, much like the Olympics, how towns just leave stadiums up afterwards, we have the eyesore of just tree trunks just everywhere now.
Knowing Pittsburgh though, I'm sure they'll replace them. They have to because that's just well, yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's going to be an eyesore. So now let's get into the logistics of everything. Let's talk about the draft itself. Now, we've already talked about how the Philadelphia Eagles are jerks. Traded
Yes.
up to Cowboys, and they ended up drafting the guy's last name is Lemon. But from what you told me, there's like an attitude with him, or what was up with that?
From what I was reading, he's got a bit of an like not a team player kind of attitude. So, but he's really talented. So he people were saying he could be like an Antonio Brown, super talented, could break records, but could cause like chaos in the locker room. So I believe everything happens for a reason. There's a reason he went to the Eagles. We'll see what happens with that. But even with that, the Steelers did draft a new offensive lineman with Max, the guy from Nigeria. Is that what you said?
You're like, I'm not saying his name again.
No, no, I'm going to mispronounce it.
No, I think you actually said it right. Say it again. Say it.
Ahinakar.
Yeah. Okay, him. So I'm sure we'll hear it enough time. Remember when we had to learn the name Kimo von Oelhoffen?
I still have his name in my head because of the way that I think it was you. You had like said it like Kimo van Olhoffen.
Kimo von Oelhoffen.
So that's like that cadence is stuck in my head now.
Real quick, is there a lot of Polynesian people that just play football now?
Holy crap! It was like every pick.
And are they all a minimum of 6'7"?
And they all had like these beautiful flower things around their necks, like, but they would stand up and it was like they would just tower over their families. It was like, what in the world is happening right now?
This is the mother who's 5'2". Just like, oh, I'm so proud. But everybody should be proud that got drafted, honestly. So that was the first round. That's all the Steelers got. Um, round two, we got one more person. And then round three was the big one where we picked up three people. So do you have the names of the people or
Yeah.
do I need to look it up?
No, I got it. So round two, pick number 47, we got Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver out of Alabama. That's going to be interesting. I'm really interested because Alabama always puts out some really good players. In particular, they seem to have good offenses, so I'm interested to see how that goes. The QB out of Penn State, round three, number 76, Drew Aller. Now, I don't know what you've
Nobody
heard.
was a
I've
fan
heard.
of this pick. Nobody was a
You're not a
fan of
fan of
this
that?
one.
I mean,
I'm
we.
just saying what people told me. Like, no one was a fan.
What happened to Skyler, the other guy, Thomas Skyler that we had,
Thomas
or Skyler
Schuyler?
Thomas?
I don't know. Oh, I know who you're talking about now. I thought you were talking about the other guy. No, I don't know. But I guess the Steelers are at a point where they probably want to develop quarterbacks. That's just the thing that I heard was just like they got this guy who hasn't even started a whole college season. I mean, who am I to judge? I just run 5Ks. He probably runs marathons. Uh, so, he's probably going to be developed into a really good player. But a lot of people are kind of comparing that pick to Kenny Pickett.
Exactly. They're comparing to Kenny Pickett, and they're gonna see what happens in the like training camp to see if he actually like holds up. But if Aaron Rodgers signs back on, which we still don't know yet, I don't see him sticking around with us too long, unfortunately.
Well, let's think about this. He's probably in like a log cabin with no windows and no doors, probably just thinking about it in the dark. So, he might make his decision there.
Doing ayahuasca.
So, I here's one thing I'll say about the picks. You didn't talk about the cornerback yet, right?
No, he's next.
Okay. I like that we finally started developing a better offense, because it is no secret that our offense sucks, for lack of a better terms. It's terrible. Lots of drop down passes because we have never been able to have another good wide receiver on top of one good wide receiver that we have. It would be like, who is the person that was with Juju Smith Schuster? It was like Juju Smith Schuster and like someone else. And then that person
Johnson.
that who?
Johnson.
Johnson, sure. And then Deontay Johnson?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoever it was. And then they got traded away. And then it was like Juju Smith Schuster was by himself. And he left because he had no help. And then it was DK Metcalf. And then, you know, he was getting passes, but like he was the only one. So they need they need more than Scotty Miller. They need more people on the line.
And luckily, we did pick up. So in actually, let's kind of go down the list real quick here, because there was cornerback in round 3, number 85, Dalen Everett from Georgia.
It was Chase Claypool and Juju Smith Schuster.
Chase Claypool, holy crap, I forgot about him. Juju Smith-Schuster is a free agent, by the way.
Hey, come back to Pittsburgh. We'll always take you as a wide receiver 6.
Round 3, we had 3 picks. Number 96, offensive guard Jennings Dunker.
I like that pick. 2 people from Iowa, by the way.
Yeah, that was interesting. Jennings Dunker, and then wide receiver Caden Wetchen. Uh, I'm really okay with those picks. Iowa is like down and dirty. And in case anyone doesn't know, Iowa back in, I think it was the 60s or 70s, they had an agreement, still do to this day, with the Steelers to use their design of the Steelers jerseys for their college. So it's cool to see like they're going to still be wearing the black and gold, same designs and everything with us now.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. This draft wasn't flashy for Pittsburgh. I don't think it was like something to write home about, but I agree with like the picks that they made. It was like all like linemen and wide receivers. Was it a quarterback and a cornerback? They knew like they needed to build the offensive line. It's like Mike McCarthy was just like, yeah, this is the problem. Why haven't you guys seen this all along?
True, true. And they did pick up, you're right. They picked up people that are not flashy. They're not like, we didn't pick up Fernandez or whoever, but, or whatever his name was.
Fernando.
Fernando.
Fernando. How could you
We
not
didn't,
know that?
we didn't pick up people like that, but we did pick up people that we need. And I'm really happy. Like, so or NFL gave us our rating like an A minus. I saw some that said C plus. I saw some that said B. So it all depends on the eye of the beholder. I think it was a really good draft.
Mhm. Agreed. I think the Steelers got the people that they needed. It's now down to who can perform. And I I know we said it wasn't flashy, but man, did they draft a group of characters like a man with a mullet. What a sight to see.
Pittsburghers, there are two people in particular that Pittsburghers want to buy their jersey immediately. That guy, Jennings Dunker, and then the running back slash wide receiver we picked up last, Eli Heidenreich.
Heidenreich. And you said You were telling me a little bit about him. Did he play football back in the day? Is that what you told me? Like he
Yeah,
didn't?
yeah, he grew up in Pittsburgh, so he's a Pittsburgh kid. He transferred around, I can't remember his actual story, but I think his either dad or grandfather played or was no, they were in the Navy or Armed Forces, so he joined the Navy, and he's been playing for the Navy. He's broken almost every record the Navy has, and when the Steelers drafted him, I mean, he's wearing his blues, like his dress blues, um, he teared up the whole time. He walked out and gave Roger Goodell a huge hug. Like he was, the fans went insane when we drafted him. So he's going to be a fan favorite, and he'll be almost like a who's the guy from the Saints? Taysom.
Tyson Hill?
He'll be like a Taysom Hill kind of guy. He's very multi talented, not quarterback, but running back, wide receiver. He's going to be our like ace in the hole.
We know how the Steelers like to line up random people at running back. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, all the picks kind of end up working themselves out. I'm happy with the draft, honestly. Um, it wouldn't be a Pittsburgh draft if they didn't pick up someone from Pittsburgh because it happens all the time, a la Kenny Pickett, a la James Conner. Uh, Also, sorry, real quick. The Arizona Cardinals picked a running back in the first round when they had James Conner already.
Yeah, there are some. I was just listening to the announcers on that. There are some picks that are meant to fill holes. There are some picks that are meant to like take care of something with the team. And then there are some that's like, hey, this is a really good player. We just need him on our team. And I think that's all that was. He's going to be a backup for James Conner. Who knows what's going to happen, though? I don't fully agree with that pick, though, either.
Drafted number two, like overall.
Yeah. We'll get into the rest of the teams in a second here. Just to wrap up the rest of the guys the Steelers drafted, though. Jennings Dunker, we talked about him. Number 4 in the fourth round, number 121, wide receiver Caden Wetchin. We talked about him from Iowa. We got a guy from Indiana, though. One of the guys that won the national championship. Round 5, number 169, tight end Riley
Ooh,
Novakowski.
I like that. We surprisingly do good with tight ends. So when they're actually catching it. So if that could give Fryermuth someone on the other side to help out, that'd be good.
He's also a fullback.
Mm. Steelers don't really usually run a lot of like I formations or anything, so that'd be nice.
I mean, look at the success some of the teams have had this year with the I formation, like the 49ers. The Steelers were known for fullbacks for a very long time, and for some reason we got away from it. So who knows? I think Connor Hayward helped bring that back because he kind of like was a stand-in fullback. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for that though.
That's right.
Um,
Hey Hayward.
that's right. Hey, oh my gosh.
Hey Hayward.
uh, grab that. Hey, Hayward. Round 6, we have number 210 offensive end Gabe Rubio from Notre Dame. I
I don't
mean,
hate that pick.
I don't either. I think that's a good one. Round 7, number 224 was a safety Robert Spears Jennings from Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. Can't go wrong. Always a good choice. Always a good choice. And then Eli Heidenreich, number 230, round 7. Yeah, man. I am totally okay with all the people we picked up. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm not going to get too excited because every year we build the Steelers up and we say they're going to crush everybody, but I think we have a chance to be a middle of the league team again.
Don't worry. I feel a solid 9-8 coming our way.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Um, but yeah, so any last minute thoughts before I move on to some of the pit players that were drafted?
Yeah, go ahead with the pit players. I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, so the first guy that was drafted out of Pitt was Max Thinaker. Thinaker? But anyway, he was drafted number. Oh wait, oh my gosh, no, that was the other guy that we just talked about. Hold on, let me get to the correct article here.
I'll vamp JJ. Okay.
Here we
Uh,
go. Linebacker Kyle Lewis from the Pittsburgh Panthers was drafted to the Dolphins.
Show that shirt. Show that shirt.
Kyle Lewis. Oh my gosh, you're right.
I'm like, you got a shirt that says
Holy
Lewis.
crap. I'm so slow tonight, except his name's spelled Louis.
Boo,
So
that's the worst kind of spelling of Lewis.
he's actually a really, really good linebacker too. Um, oh my gosh. So that's a really good pickup for the Dolphins. And then one of my favorite picks is Desmond Reed. He is the star-studded running back for the Panthers for a couple years now. He has been so freaking talented, and he was drafted by the Buffalo Bills. So he is going to just he's going to do amazing. I've always been a Desmond Reed fan. He does amazing every year with Pitt. So the fact he's going to be with Buffalo with Josh Allen, that's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, that's gonna be a dangerous team. Maybe they'll finally do it. I don't know.
Who knows? Oh God, I hope they do it.
Any other Pitt players?
That was it. I did a lot of research. I typed in like, "Hey, Pitt players 2026 that were drafted." Only those two came up. I did a little bit more research, and that's all I could find. So yeah, man. Any other noteworthy guys that were drafted? You don't really follow college football, though, do you? So you weren't really a big follower of
I'm,
all the people that were drafted.
I'm about to spoil it for everybody. I never watch college football. So whatever players get drafted, I just hear the position and I go, okay, sounds good. That's all I do.
There were some. Actually, most teams did pretty well. The Giants did amazing. They
Yeah.
drafted everybody.
Yeah, the Steelers had like 10 picks or 12 picks, I think, in the entire NFL draft. The Giants, I think they had like a crazy amount because every round I saw, I'm like, how are they picking three times in this round? Like, it was crazy.
And let's also mention that uh, Ohio State in that first round had like I think half of
Everything.
the players were Ohio State players.
Yeah, and they still lost to Fernando Mendoza.
Who's with the Raiders now. Oh man, I'm interested to see what happens there too. I mean, it's going to be a great year for football, and it's still months away, but super excited for it.
Me too. And then finally, the last final thing, um, so everybody knows about it. JJ, guess who won the main event matches at WrestleMania? So
We're going to talk about that.
just the main events. So guess who won between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton?
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes did win. Very good. So what happened was Pat McAfee came out, and then uh, Pat McAfee got the crap kicked out of him before the match started. And then, of all people, Jelly Roll elbow dropped him through a table. And then the match was between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And then Cody Rhodes was turning heel the entire match and then won the match. And then Randy Orton hit him with the title and then punted him. So nothing made sense anymore.
That checks out. Why didn't Pat McAfee have his neck brace on for the draft?
I know. Maybe his neck was fine after 2 days.
Or sure, a neck injury takes 2 days to heal.
And then finally, who won between CM Punk and Roman Reigns?
I'm assuming Roman Reigns.
You're 2 for 2, baby. Roman Reigns won. In the match, everyone complained about match lengths the entire time. The match went 30 minutes, bell to bell. And it was probably one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. Like, it was really good.
That's saying something because I heard night one was not that great.
Night one sucked. It was bad. Night two was a breath of fresh air. And Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and CM Punk just had an awesome main event that like bled into like their story they were telling in the weeks coming up. I'll just tell you what happened real quick. For people who are still listening, no one makes it this far. So the story is Roman Reigns basically has been calling CM Punk old, and CM Punk is saying, I'm getting into Roman Reigns' head. So, like, CM Punk's in Roman Reigns' head, like, the whole match. And then they get to the end. CM Punk, 29 minutes in, CM Punk gets Roman Reigns up. GTS, Punk falls to his knees. Roman bounces off the rope and back on the CM Punk shoulders. And CM Punk was like, oh, it's time to take it home. And he picked him up. And then CM Punk collapsed to his knees from exhaustion. And then Roman Reigns hit the rope, spear, CM Punk with a defiance trying to stand up. Roman Reigns then hits the one rope, hits the other rope, super spear to finish the match. 1, 2, 3.
You have to hit the second rope to make it a super spear. You have to hit your special.
He hits both ropes every WrestleMania to show that he hits a super spear.
Love that for him. That sucks for CM Punk. That he's just like they were like, hey, you're old, so we're gonna make that part of your storyline.
Well, CM Punk probably came up with it, and JJ, it was a great story that they told. It was a story that they told in that match.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
CM Punk also did the spot where he put Roman Reigns on the announcer's table on the outside, and he climbed to the top rope and hit an elbow drop from there.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and he was up there, and I was like, "Please don't die! Please don't die! Please don't die!" And he hit it perfectly. It was great.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the second night because, man, it's never fun whenever it's not a great show. But I'm glad they pulled it back together.
Yep, they did pull it back together. Last highlight is the 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Penta won. Put up your zeros so you can do a
Zero
zero
man.
Mero. Yes, he won with zero fear and was amazing.
Good for Penta. I'm really happy that he's been wrestling this long.
Yes, and you should totally watch it. You have the ESPN Unlimited. You know, somehow, some way. Well, we won't talk past that.
No, I don't. I have ESPN on like cable. That's pretty much it.
Aw, dang it. Oh yeah. Also, WrestleMania, the first hour was free on ESPN, and Oba Femi beat Brock Lesnar in under 5 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that. What's his face after the match was like what a week later he was like, I am so destitute that he lost.
And then, as you texted me, Brock Lesnar took off his gloves, took off his shoes, and left him in the middle of the ring. Looked at Paul Heyman, went like this, and said, "This isn't a work," and they hugged each other.
What does that mean? This isn't a work.
Like, like going like this is basically like if a wrestler is injured, like this is real now. Like we really need to help this guy.
Oh.
So that's what he did, but that kind of signalized like, hey, I'm not messing right now. Like I think I'm done.
So Paul Heyman took off his pants and took off his jacket and walked out with him.
Yeah. He's like, I will join you, Barack Lesnar.
That's crazy, man. That's right. I totally forgot that he like semi-retired of late in a sort.
But we will see because SummerSlam is in Minneapolis this year, which is Brock Lesnar's hometown.
I was gonna say that's right. Yeah, well, we shall see then.
Yeah. And you will be able to see us on YouTube and Spotify. So thank you for joining us this week. I've been Chris.
I've been JJ. This was a fun episode. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yep. And we'll see Yins real soon.